What's up, vaqueros, and welcome to my first shotgun loadout video for Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Lockwood 680, which has kind of quickly become my favorite shotgun in the game. It's easily the best pump action, and it's probably one of the better shotguns as well, simply because the one-shots are pretty damn devastating if you can close the gap. So with today's video, I'm going to go over the best class that I could get from testing a lot of attachments, seeing what worked and what didn't work, some gameplay hands-on experience, and let you guys know what I think the best loadout for this thing is for the most aggressive style gameplay and getting up in people's faces. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and stick around, and I will leave timestamps below in the description if you want them. So let's just go ahead and hop into it. Now, as a note, I am going to get kind of in depth with some attachment choices that I made, which some people like, some people don't. But if you just want the class loadout, here you go. I'll post a picture on screen. So if you want that and you want to bail, totally up to you, but there it is. If you want to stick around and know why things work the way they do or why I chose certain attachments, then definitely stick around because we're going to go ahead and get into that. So here we are in the gunsmith. Normally I'd show a picture of the loadout and talk through it like with the COD Community app, but their app doesn't seem to have the laser category for this particular shotgun. It's just a bug, no big deal. So I'm going to go in the gunsmith instead and explain everything kind of choice by choice. So first, for the chokes, we have a couple to choose from. Now, first of all, the suppressors, actually, they're not really good for range. They're going to hurt your range. They do keep you off the minimap, which is great, but they don't really help your range like they did in Modern Warfare 2. So I tend to rock the chokes. Now, the one I landed on is the Bryson choke, and this is the one that, again, just like in Modern Warfare 2, is the best overall choke for the most tight and condensed pellet spread when it comes to aim down sights. That is in the top left here of the damage section, negative 38%. So that's really great. Now, the X10 full choke is going to give you the best range out of the chokes, but no pellet tightness. I opt for consistency, so I always choose the Bryson choke. Now, another interesting option is the Crown Breaker choke. And this one's interesting because it doesn't actually help your aim down sight spread at all, but it gives you a great boost to your min hip fire spread, and the tactical stance spread and hip fire spread max. Those are the same as the Bryson choke. So the real difference between these two is that the Crown Breaker choke is more for tac stance builds, whereas the Bryson choke is going to be for overall more versatility when it comes to aiming down sights. So I opt for the nice tight aim down sight spread, even though I do use tac stance with this build. And overall, I found this to be the most consistent of the bunch, at least for aiming down sights completely and not tac stance. So keep that in mind. For the barrel category, we have a few to choose from, but without a doubt, the best one, in my opinion, is the Bryson Hammer Forged Long Barrel. This is going to give you the best range in class. This barrel right here, the Lockwood Defender Heavy Long Barrel, doesn't give you as much range. I tested that out. The Hammer Forged Long Barrel gives you movement speed, and it gives you better range. This is really, without a doubt, one of the best ones to use, and it's one of the first ones you unlock. I think it is the first barrel you unlock, and to me, it's just the best way to go. It even gives you aim down sight speed. I mean, come on, what more could you want from a shotgun barrel, to be honest? For the lasers, there's quite a bit to choose from. The one I landed on is the Hipshot L20 from Modern Warfare 2. The reason for it is because it gives us a really well-rounded spread, both min and max, and even our tac stance spread. Now, for just pure tac stance builds, there is one that actually is on top, and that is the Kimura Ryle 33 laser light. I hope I said that right. This doesn't help our min or max spread at all, but it does give us a better tac stance spread by about 4% more. It also does give us some sprint to fire and aim down sight speed. But the reason I like the Hipshot L20 is because out of all the lasers, it gives you sort of the most well-rounded spread, and that's what these lasers are really good for. You'll see some like the Stovall tac laser give you better hip spread when it comes to your minimum spread, but I, again, still prefer the most well-rounded of the bunch, which is the Hipshot L20, and that's what this build is for. It's a sort of most well-rounded for aggressive playing. Next up, for the stocks, you kind of guessed it, I'm sure. We're going for the sawed-off stock mod. This is usually the best of the bunch because it gives you so much movement speed compared to the others, and it gives you some better hip spread, both max, min, and even your tac stance. But again, as same with some of the other attachments, the X10 Tactical Match Stock is one that you want to use if you're going for pure tac stance builds. I'll do a separate video on tac stance later, but for now, I think sawed-off mod is the best way to go for just better movement speed and just better overall in terms of how effective it can be for your build. Now, for the Express Light Bolt choice I have here, this is one of two that does help your rechambering speed. Now, it doesn't say it. If you look at the pros, this one doesn't say it helps your speed, but it does. If you just look at the detailed stats, it will in fact help. And I'll show a little test on screen of the the actual rate of fire difference. But this express light bolt helps so much. It actually helps by quite a bit. It makes it super fast. It feels like a slam fire shotgun at that point, and it's ridiculously fast. Now it does make your screen a lot more shaky, which can be bad if you're using something like slugs or you need to be super accurate, but sometimes you just need your one-shot kill. If you don't get that one shot, get your two-shot out or your second shot. Hopefully that kills them with your pellet spread, and this thing is really the best for that because it doesn't matter as much how accurate you are. You just need to get up close, get your shots off as fast as you can, and get that one or two shot kill. That's why the express light bolt is probably the best way to go in terms of the bolts. Now for slugs, of course, I would probably opt for a different choice. For overall, just general purpose shotgunning, this has been a really amazing build, and I actually like it quite a bit. Now, I do want to point out, there are some guards that say they help with your rechambering speed. I tested them all out, and none of them actually help it at all, which is kind of funny, but there is one that actually really hurts your speed, which is the Lockwood Signature Series Heavy Guard. That makes your rate of fire noticeably slower. I don't know why it doesn't say it in the stats, or why they say they help, but they don't actually. I don't know why it says that. Maybe it's just a bug, maybe it's an oversight, but don't even bother with these. If you're looking for something to kind of boost your rate of fire even more, don't bother rocking these guards. It's not really going to do anything. If you want to rock it because of aim down sight speed or movement speed bonuses, then by all means go ahead and do that, but just know that none of them really affect your rate of fire in a positive way at least. So now that we got all the detailed stuff out of the way, what are my overall thoughts on this shotgun? Well, generally, I think it's probably one of the better shotguns in the game, and I actually have a blast when I'm playing with it because it's actually pretty dang consistent and pretty well-rounded overall. The Brysons from Modern Warfare 2 are pretty damn bad. I really don't recommend using those at this point. They might need a buff. They actually do need a buff. They're pretty bad, but this one's got such a great rate of fire, great damage. It's pretty consistent for the most part. Sometimes there's a lot of two-shot kills, but generally it's a very good shotgun, and I'm pretty happy with it. It doesn't need to have a bunch of range. It doesn't need a 16-meter one-shot kill. It's really good where it's at. I think having a max of 10 with the right attachments is good. With this build, you're looking at about that 9-meter mark for the one-shot kills. If you want a little bit more range, just stack on that full choke instead of the Bryson choke, but I prefer consistency. That's why I chose the Bryson choke over the other ones. But overall, I am pretty happy with this shotgun. I think it's in a good state. I think if anything, it's just the other shotguns that need to come up because this one is pretty solid and I do enjoy it quite a bit, and it's got great movement speed as well. So with all that being said, guys, now it's time for you guys to let me know in the comments, what do you think about this shotgun? What do you think about this build? Have you been enjoying the shotguns in this game? Do you have a different maybe attachment I could use in the place of another that you think might be better for a certain build like this with the Lockwood 680? And with all that being said, guys, I will see you in the next video.